Okay, Hayless Gaming here, bringing you the next guide on how to do burners and whatnot. This is a guide to tie together everything that we've done with the guides on how to do everything. This is how you keep doing them while keeping your standings up so that you can actually make ISK. We're gonna start off here with the social skills. These are extremely important. You really need them in order to keep your standings up and to keep on making that ISK. Diplomacy and social are the two most important. I recommend you train those at least to 4 ASAP. What social does is every time you turn in a mission, you get a little bit more standings. So if you got 0.1 standings, with this to level 5, you get 0.12 or 1.2, or if you got 1 standings, you get 1.2 standings when you turn in a mission. It's a 20% or 25% increase, so you get 1.25. My bad. And then diplomacy helps you when you've dropped your standings so low that your agent doesn't want to talk to you. Diplomacy will keep her talking to you just a little bit longer, and that may be the difference between having to have a buddy turn in a mission for you, or having to find somebody to turn in a mission for you, and actually being able to decline like 3 or 4 more missions. These two I would recommend you train to 4 first, and then connections helps you when you're initially doing your standings grind to get it up. It helps keep your faction standing high enough to continue. I'll do more on that, but this helps keep positive standings up. Diplomacy helps keep negative standings up. And then social helps you, every time you turn in a mission, you get a little bit more. And then negotiation and security connections increases the payout. Negotiation gives you more raw ISK, which is arguably not as good as security connections, which gives you more LP. LP is far more valuable than ISK. You get more value in LP when you turn in missions than when you actually, than the ISK that you get. About half the ISK is from bounties, about half is from turning them in. LP is, you add those together as the other half of the ISK that you're making. LP is big. LP is very big. I'll do a quick rundown of how I do it. I might do a separate video on how to convert LP, but right now we're just going to stick with how I make the LP and how I make the ISK. That's it for the skills. When we speak to our agent, I use Sisters of Eve because the area is really good. You're given an effective standings. That effective standings is whatever standings you have the highest when you open up this window here. At the bottom, we have the Servant Sisters of Eve, which is the faction. This is the one that you need above 5 to start blitzing, and it's a grind to get, but it is so worth it. The corporation standings kind of stays in between the two because it's a little bit heavier than than the agent, but it's lighter than Sisters of Eve. So, and then your agent standing is what you need to actually pay attention to most of the time. Think of it like this: your agent's your boss. This is his boss, and this is the owner of the company that you work for. So, you're really good friends with the owner, but your boss may not like you so much, but because you're really good friends with the owner, your boss is stuck working with you. I'll show you a couple declines and show you how this works. To get your faction standings up, you have to do 16 regular missions and then get a storyline mission, which we probably won't get during this video. I don't imagine this video being 16 missions long. But every 16 regular missions that you get, including burners, you will get a storyline mission. You want to do all of the storyline missions until you have your standings above 5. Once you're above 5, you just have to keep them at 5. Once they hit 5, I only do materials for war. And, man, I cannot remember that mission right now. My mind just went blank. Do materials for war and shipyard theft, I believe is what it's called. You get a random implant. I won't do it if it's against Serpentis and has a bad implant. If it's against Angel, I'll do it most times. If it's against Serpentis, I'll kind of do it sometimes. But it gives you a random implant valued upwards towards 200 million ISK and takes about 20 minutes to do. Depending on the implant, I'll accept it or decline it. I find that my standings slowly go up. You really only need to do materials for war, but shipyard theft is a high ISK per hour mission. It doesn't pay any LP, but it pays those implants, and they're fantastic to go sell on the market. Back on track here. How standings works is every time you decline a mission. So I have not taken a mission from my agent yet. So we're gonna request a mission. More than likely, we're gonna get one that we don't want. This one happens to be Gone Berserk. This is one that we do decline. My list of missions that I do is smaller than the list of missions that I don't do, which I'll go over them in the video shortly here. But since this is a mission we don't like, our standings are 1.8. We're gonna decline it, and then if we check again, they're 1.89. Wait, the first mission every 4 hours is declined. So we got Anomic Base. All burners are free to decline. They never cost the standings to decline them. That's one of the Anomic burners we don't have. We got our free decline, which I only get once a day. You guys very rarely notice that or see that. We got Stop the Thief. This is one that I'll do if my standings are negative, but if they're positive, we'll decline it. So we're just going to decline this one. And you see our effective standings didn't drop, but before and after, we dropped by 0.19. We're at 1.7. The lower this gets, the lesser the effect of dropping a mission. So if this was a negative number, we wouldn't have dropped 0.19. We may have dropped like 0.1 or 0.08, which is it's a non-worry. So we can still sit here and decline missions. We're going to decline this one, and I'll show you her standings again. That was a much bigger mission. Now we're at 1.26. The lower this gets, the lesser the effect of the same mission gets. I'm hoping I get to show you guys that effect. Maybe I'll get the same mission twice in a row. We can decline it. Now we're at 1.4. We're going to request the next mission. We actually got a burner. So I'm going to do that while I babble on the rest. But what I'm saying is when this gets negative, diplomacy takes effect, and it becomes very difficult for that agent to drop. And also the lower it gets, when you turn in a mission, these standings go up further for every turn in. So if you're like negative 1.9 and you turn in a mission, you'll be positive. If you're at like, so that's almost a 2 increase. I may be exaggerating a little bit, but after you do that, if you immediately get another mission that you can do, or the same mission, it won't increase as much, but it'll still increase. I'm not sure exactly what the algorithm is, but that's kind of the effect that the math has. I wish I knew the math behind it, but I don't. The list of burners that we do, I'm just gonna do these in the background while I spiel these off, and I'll put them in the description. But the list of burners that we do is we do all of the Anomic teams. We do the Enyo with explosive damage. I would recommend Caldari Navy Rage. The Hawk is done with EM damage. I recommend Caldari Mjolnir ammo. I cannot say Mjolnir right. Good luck getting me pronounced things correctly. That's quite fun. And then for the Jaguar, we're going to do EM damage, preferably Javelin rockets, and then EM damage to the Logi, kinetic damage to the Jaguar itself. The Vengeance is explosive damage to the Logi and thermal damage to the Vengeance itself. And then, sorry, I got a list over there that I keep looking at. For the agents, we do the Serpentis and the Daredevil. It's face tanked. Or the Serpentis is a Daredevil. We do it with a Shiny Hawk. The Angel is done with a Dremiel, or with a Daredevil. It is a Dremiel. The Sancha is a Succubus. We do it with the Daredevil. And the Grista agent is a Worm, which we also do with the Daredevil. So for the agents, what we need is a Garmer. Or for the teams, all we need is a Garmer. This one little ship right here that I happen to be flying right now will do 4 agents. It's an expensive ship. It's worth it because this makes roughly a quarter of the SP we get from burners, which is a lot. Agents are quite common. 1 in 3 burners, you'll be running your Garmer. For the agents, like I just said, most of them, Grist is done in a Worm. What we don't do for the agents is the Blood Raiders. It's currently in a bug state along with the Serpentis one. The Serpentis is still worth doing, but the Blood Raiders is not. And yeah, so we just don't do it. For the bases, we do the Angel base, which is done with a Vigilant. We kill 4 Recon Dremiels and a Transport. The Vigilant works really well for that. For the base, Serpentis is the one that versus 3 Talos. That one's always worth doing. You get good chances of drops on that. The Blood Raiders base is really easy to do, but it's the worst paying of all the bases, so we skip it. It also takes the longest. It takes about 12 minutes to do round trip. Not just the fight, but round trip takes about 12 minutes. The fight itself takes like 8. But since it only pays 30 millionus versus the others that pay like 42, it's not worth doing. The Grissa base we also skip because it simply takes too long to do. It takes 12 to 15 minutes inside the mission. That's not including traveling to and from the mission, so we're looking at 15 to 16 minutes to do. And it doesn't pay that great either, so we skip that one. And then for regular missions, this is what you guys all want to know. This is the video that I'm always asked about all the time, which is which missions do you accept and which do you decline? And the answer to this question is it varies. But I do have my current list as of January of 2018. This list is subject to change. There's currently a bugged mission which is influencing this list. I used to have it down to a science, and it recently got bugged. I haven't had enough time to really science it yet to figure out which missions are the most valuable to replace it. But I am currently running right now in no particular order. 100% of the time I will accept Recon Part 1, Dread Pirate Scarlet, Right-Hand zazzmats, and the Pirate Invasion. I do believe that I have YouTube videos on how to blitz all of those currently. We used to have the Assault Net list, but the triggers to complete said mission are currently bugged. So sometimes you'll take that mission and you can't complete it, which is really, really unfortunate because it's worth a lot and it only takes a few minutes to do, but it's bugged, so if you take it, you have a chance of like tanking your standings and have to take a bunch of other missions that you don't want to do. The missions that I do when I'm feeling a little iffy about my standings, like maybe I should take a couple extra missions to keep my standings up, meaning when they get negative or when I notice them dropping a little bit more than usual, I'll start accepting Stop the Thief, Recon Part 2, the Damsel in Distress, Cargo Delivery, and Rogue Slave Trader Part 1 and 2. In my stream, I do all of these because I like to show you guys how to do it, but we skip them when I'm not streaming, and or if we're tryharding, we're trying to earn more than 200 million ISK an hour, we'll start skipping those ones. But we do always accept the first list. I will post this list of missions in the description below. What I would recommend you do is when you're doing these missions, start taking a couple out, and take as many out as you can of the optional list, or take the ones that are least valuable to you in whatever ship setup you're running. Take those out and continue trimming it down until your standings are balanced. You want your standings to float between like -1 and +1, right around that 0 mark. But if your standings are getting really high, you're doing too many regular missions and you're not declining enough. If your standings get near 2, you're not doing enough of the regular missions and you need to add more. Doing more burners also helps increase the standings. This list may not work if you're not doing all the burners that I'm doing. If you're doing more, you can decline more. The more burners you do, the higher you can, or the less regular level 4 missions you do. Unfortunately, you cannot force 100% burners. Otherwise, this would make like 400 million ISK an hour. But you're forced to do regular missions to kind of keep it in check. Burners are dropped once every 6 seconds. That's pretty much the entire description of how to do this. I will give you my list of regular accepts. But now that I've armed you with the knowledge, I expect you all to go start making... Oh, wait. No. I forgot one thing at the end. Forgot to tell you how long the grind takes. So, you can expect it to take you about a day to grind your standings up to 4 to be able to do the level 4 missions. If you just do the missions. Just go out there and do them. It's going to take you about a week to get your faction standings to 5. Sometimes longer. It took me a week doing it with a crappy Macarial playing 8 hours a day. So you can expect about 40 hours of gameplay in order to max your or get your faction standings above 5. It is worth it to grind through that because EVE's kind of a game where that pays off after about a month. It's very worth. When you're just hammering missions, you'll be making about 50 million ISK an hour. Once you get your faction standings up and you can start adhering to this list, that 50 million ISK an hour will suddenly jump to about 100 plus million ISK an hour. And then as you start adding in burners, that 120 plus will just slowly start climbing up as you get better at these, as you stop losing ships, as you get more efficient at doing the burners, as you get your insta-docs made, as you get your things all together, you'll start approaching that 200 million ISK mark, which is kind of the golden sweet spot where you can kind of be lazy and do it, but at the same time be making ISK. Yeah, that's all I really got for you today. That's the basic description of what I do to make ISK and some of the core knowledge needed. I will post my current list of missions in the description. I may edit or change that list of missions, so you can just go to the description and copy my list and run by that list. If you need to take more missions, remember to take more. If you need to take less, that's up to you to decide when that is. Everybody's just a little bit different. And everybody, if you like my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tweet this out. Don't forget to comment, like, comment, subscribe. Everybody fly safe and have a good day.